Adventurous kids, explore with education and learning what a wildlife is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovering Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
In this episode of Adventurous Kids, we're camping in
Big Cypress National Preserve in Mitchell's Landing.
Let's have the best time ever!
Hi, we're here at Mitchell's Landing in Big Cypress National Preserve, and we are gonna set up our campsite.
Woo!
Now the first thing we want to do is pick a spot for our tent. So Elijah, where would you like your tent?
Anywhere, preferably in the shade.
Preferably in the shade? Okay.
I can record now?
Yes. So. This is my first time setting up this tent. Let's see if I can get it on the first try.
I believe in you.
We have here our tent poles and our tent stakes.
Oh, he has other better tent stakes too.
Great.
That his mom put in the bag.
Great. It looks like this might be a mat.
Yeah.
This is probably our rain fly.
Yeah, she got him these ones to use.
Perfect. And this is our tent body. So the first thing we're gonna do is extend the body of the tent. Lucas, if you can help me here, please.
Yep.
Grabbing it by the corners, which is where the loops are. Now, Elijah, which way would you like your door to face in the morning?
This way.
This way, okay. So we're gonna turn it this way. Before we do, lift it up and check that there are no rocks or sticks.
Yep.
I think we're okay. No
Good.
ant piles. Very
No
important.
ant piles.
Very important to check for ant piles here in South Florida.
Oh yeah. You wake up covered in bites.
We take our tent poles.
So not these that she got, his mom got?
Not yet, not yet.
Those are stakes.
Those are stakes, correct.
Gotcha.
I always like to set up the poles first.
Okay.
Some people like to set up the stakes first. It's really up to just personal preference. I'm sure we can both argue our cases. Thank you. Make sure that doesn't fall on the floor so we're not littering.
Leave no trace.
Now, if I'm familiar enough with these tents, there should be two equal-sized poles. Want to assemble one, assemble two, put them next to one another just to make sure everything is in order. Great, they're the same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it through here, and Lucas, you're going to help me receive it on the other side, okay?
Okay.
Don't pull, I will push.
Okay. Through the green.
Correct,
bit.
yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, once it comes out the other side, you're going to put that small metal stick into the hole. Into the hole where your fingertip is. Correct.
What am I putting in here?
I'll show you.
I'm sorry.
You're going to take this guy right here,
Oh.
put it like this.
Got you. Okay.
Now, this part takes a little bit of... I need you to make sure it doesn't fall out.
Yeah.
This is why it's always easier to do it with two people.
Yeah.
Pull this way and do the same thing on my end.
Sorry, I've lifted it up. That was the opposite of what I should have done.
That's okay. We got the first side up. Now just please hold this area for me, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. We're going to feed it through here. And do the same thing. One over here. And one over here. Can you help me with that, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful. Now on each one of the corners, you're going to take this clip
Oh, and clip it.
Flip it
It's a
on
little
there.
clippy-do situation.
Correct.
We like a clippy-do.
Like flippy-do.
That's a clippy-do.
Now that the tent body is set up, we're gonna do our stakes, our rainfly, and our guy lines. You wanna take your stake here, put it at an angle facing away from the tent, into the ground as far as you can get it. Florida has a very rocky ground, so sometimes you need to wiggle it around a little bit. And get it in. Now, as you do it, you want to pull the corners apart to really maximize the space inside the tent. Last one. Thank you for your help.
I've done very little.
Believe it or not, that makes a huge difference. All right.
That's not going anywhere.
Now this tent comes with, I believe this is a mat. I haven't looked at the instructions yet because I'm a guy. And that's one of the terribly silly things that guys do. I joke, of course. It's only because I've worked with Coleman tents since I was very little. So now we have our rainfly, which should have a pole of its own. You always know which one's going to be the pole for the rainfly because it's much smaller than the two other ones. That is being when it's this style of tent, of course. There are other styles of tents where that may not be the case. It's always important to know what you're buying, look at the instructions, all that good stuff. So now, what we're going to do, take each one of these and bring it down to one of these loops at the bottom. Where we put our stakes, you see it?
Yeah.
Gonna hook it at the bottom there.
Oh no.
That's okay. Should perhaps be a little thing of Velcro down here that you want to fasten it to the poles. That just helps keep things in place.
Ah, yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh.
What we want to do now is to tighten our guy lines. These guys right here, this is for ventilation of the tent, proper ventilation. So you'll want to loosen up these strings. Pull it a little bit this way so doesn't come off that far from the tent, and then simply stake it just like we did just like we did the tent, and tighten it up. Ooh, it came a little loose, that's okay. I think I put it directly on a rock, so let me move it away a little bit. Once that's staked out, get it nice and taut. Doesn't have to be super tight, just gently enough. And yeah, this helps keep the air circulation flowing nicely. Because, believe it or not, you can get water inside your tent, even if it doesn't rain, even if it doesn't flood.
Like the dew in the like from water vapor.
More than just that, it is water vapor, but the water vapor comes from your own mouth, from your own nose. What you breathe out condenses inside of your tent if you don't have proper circulation, proper ventilation. So this is what these things help do. When you keep it nice and taut, it helps the airflow.
I did not know that.
Very rocky, very rocky. So rocky, you could call it Balboa.
I was about to say, so rocky it loves Emily.
Rocky Dennis?
No, Three Ninjas. Rocky loves
Oh,
Emily. That was a
I have
deep
not
cut.
seen that movie in a very long time.
You're done?
It looks like there are 2 more stakes in here.
They might. You don't think they're? Well, I don't know what I'm talking about.
They're probably for
The mat.
the mat and maybe for this opening over here. I believe we could probably, yeah, this is probably what that's for. That helps with the circulation as well, with the ventilation. I keep using those words interchangeably, even though they're technically not. It's good to have a mat. I like this tent. It's good to have a mat because you want to be able to wipe your feet before you get in the tent. Make sure you don't get a whole bunch of sand or dirt in it. And if possible, even take your shoes off. But that's your own preference. This is your tent. This is your tent, your rules for the night. And
That's how you do it.
And now we're gonna do the mattress. I always like to put it inside of the tent first and blow it up from the outside. So we got our pump over here. We have to see which nozzle fits the air mattress. Looks like this one. And now we wait.
Oh no, the mattress is gonna blow up!
Luckily it's a blow-up mattress. Okay, now that the mattress is inflated and inside the tent, right side up, we want to get our sleeping bag and pillows. And that way Elijah can set up his mattress the best way that he likes to sleep. Now that the mattress is set up, we're going to set up the sleeping bag and pillow. And we'll be ready for a good night's sleep when the sun goes down. Now this here is a 50-degree sleeping bag. It's always important to pay attention to the temperature rating of a sleeping bag because they will have, sometimes you have to go on their website and look. What it says 50 degrees might be the survival rating or the comfort rating. And you want to be sure that if you're going to be in 50-degree weather, that the comfort rating is for 50 degrees. Otherwise, you're going to be shivering in your timbers.
That's just because Nico's a pirate.
Okay, and I like to keep the stuffed sacks for whatever is from your tent inside of your tent. I like to put it in this here corner. Are you okay with that? Great. Then let's do that. Hotel Elijah is ready for a camping trip.
Hotel Elijah is now ready. This is where we'll be doing the campfire later.
When looking for a spot to put your tent, it's important to not only look at the ground, but to look up as well and make sure you're not under any branches that may fall. They call those widow makers. So you want to look at the ground and you want to look at the branches as well. Now I'm going to tell you about the 7 principles of leave no trace. Now the first one is to plan ahead and prepare. It's basically what we did today. We got our reservation. We tested all our gear before we left the house to make sure everything was good. Second one, travel and camp on durable surfaces. That's kind of what we talked about when we picked our campsite. You want to make sure that it's something nice and sturdy, that you're not in any danger. Number 3, dispose of waste properly. It's very important that you pack in what you pack out what you bring in. In this case, we happen to have trash cans nearby, so that's not a problem. We get to throw it out right over here. But always, always, always pick up your trash and throw it out immediately. Don't wait until the next morning or later on, throw it out right away. Leave what you find is very important. It's okay to pick up some sticks to put in your fire, some dead branches and stuff like that. But typically speaking, you want to leave the things you find. It might look like a cool fossil you found or a cool stick you want to bring home, but in reality, you want to let nature do nature's thing and you want to leave things the way you found them. Minimize campfire impacts. Over here, we are only doing it in the designated areas with the fire rings. These places do allow a fire, so we will be making a fire tonight to cook dinner, but go according to whatever the local ordinances are. Respect wildlife. You see us doing it right now. We wanted to get a video with the water, but not by the water, because that would be setting ourselves up for possibly something dangerous. If a gator attacks somebody, then that gator might have to get euthanized or transported or something that you just don't want. So we admire wildlife from a distance, treat it with respect. Last one is going to be considerate of other visitors. As we saw earlier, we have some camping neighbors. We have to make sure that we don't interfere with their camping and they don't interfere with ours. And yep, those are the 7 principles of leave no trace.
This view here is very pretty. I wonder what type of bird feather this is. You should never touch a feather because it could have germs. I'm wearing this hat because I'm adventurous, just like Adventurous Kids.
Did you know that resurrection ferns, when it doesn't rain, they turn brown and shrivel up a little bit, but when it does rain, they turn green and they come back to life, aka why they call them resurrection ferns.
We're on Loop Road. Let's go look for some wildlife.
That was a great egret. That was a great egret.
As opposed to all those not so great egrets.
Make egrets great again. This is an American alligator.
It's against the law to feed alligators. Don't do it. It's against the law to feed alligators. Don't do it.
Whether it's giving them your food or swimming where you're not supposed to.
that was a great blue heron. I want to find another one, but just slightly smaller, and it would be a just okay blue heron.
So a fun fact about birds, a typical way for them for us to differentiate the male versus female birds, one way of doing it is by looking at their chromosomes. And unlike humans who have XXXY, birds actually have ZW chromosomes.
Do the snake stomp.
These vultures are everywhere.
Just like my fellow cast member said, they really are everywhere. This is literally the biggest alligator ever.
Did you know American alligators can grow up to 15 feet long?
Later, Gator. Let's hike the tree snail hammock trail. I say tree trail. Holy cow, another alligator.
Now you see it?
Look at this weird tree.
When you bring your filming equipment and you want to document your camping trips in places that are very, very cold, it's recommended that you sleep with your battery in your sleeping bag because it conserves the life of it longer. It's also recommended that you sleep with your water filter in your sleeping bag because if those fibers freeze, then you lose your water filter. So sleep with your batteries and sleep with your water filters.
Look at this limestone. Now let's head back to the campsite. Mud stomp!
Another day, another gator.
This view is so pretty.
Lucas, how do you scare away the snakes?
You do the snake stomp!
And how do you get the mud off your feet?
You do the mud stomp! We are back at the campsite from Loop Road. We saw so many amazing animals.
Well, you saw what it's like to blow up a camping mattress. Now I'm going to show you what it's like to blow up a backpacking mattress. Now, these aren't as thick and as big as your camping mattresses, but they're very compact and very lightweight. How do you blow them up, you ask? They have their own air pump. These are designed so that you don't have to carry a heavy pump with you when you're backpacking with all your gear just inside your backpack. There you have it, folks. A fully inflated sleeping pad. This is my chainsaw. It's a handheld chainsaw. Boom. I'm cutting firewood for the fire. Maybe a little bit more.
There you go.
All right. Getting logs. I'm gonna cut them a little bit longer. You see why I bring pre-workout?
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Watch
Well, I
your
mean,
step.
like, why? I'm like watching you do this. I'm like, what is he even working out for? He already gets to work out when he's out here.
So that this is easier.
I was about to say probably so this isn't so exhausting.
Here's one thing you can do when you need to split a log like this, but you don't have a big axe or a flat table. All you have is a small hatchet like this. What you want to do is get a decent, not even a super strong cut in there and smack it. This one might be a little too thick, but and there you go. Splitting logs. So when making a fire, I like to split my wood into 3 different types. We have our, what we call, my girlfriend taught me these names, our logs, our snakes, and our rat tails. Now, and then of course you have your kindling, which is things like palm fronds, or the stuff that grows on the side of palm trees. I forget the name of it. But basically, you want to let the fire breathe is the way I like to do it. So sometimes you can stack a big log right over here. Or you can stack your log there. Put your snakes across it like that. Put your rat tails on top of that. Kindling underneath. That way when you light the kindling, it comes upward. It catches quickly the rat tails, second the snakes, and lastly the log. So I'm sure you've seen lots of people light a fire with a lighter. Today we're gonna try lighting it with flint and knife. So what I like to do is I get this little really puffed up little bundle of kindling right here, almost like a bird's nest. You shave off a little bit of that magnesium flint powder onto the dust pile because it makes a better spark. And come back to it in a few minutes when the pile is nice and stacked up, and we go light the fire. All right, now comes the hard part. We're gonna spark it over here. have our palm frond ready, because this is going to be a very small and very quick flame. Light this up, put it in here, and we should have a fire. The way I like to do it is I hold my knife steady and pull back the flint stick. Always have material ready. Fire is something you constantly have to take care of. Big mistake people make, they get their kindling, they get their fire lit, but they don't have their small twigs, their rat tails ready. And then all that effort you put into shaving off the flint, lighting your spark, goes to waste. So lesson number 1 here is prepare.
Today is the winter solstice, the first day of winter and the shortest day of the year.
Much like the camping mattresses versus backpacking mattresses, we also have camping chairs versus backpacking chairs. And this is a backpacking chair. This is what I like to use on my trips whenever I have to carry, ideally the lightest weight possible on my back. This is a bit of a luxury, if I can be honest. But I like luxuries. I like bringing a chair, and I like bringing a book. It's a little heavier on me, but I have more fun at camp when I have them. And it works like this. Gray on gray. Orange on orange. They make it real easy for you. And boom, I got my chair. It's not as comfortable as a big camping chair, but it's nice.
Yeah.
And it reclines, and it weighs very little.
It's getting dark. We're gonna have some fun in the dark. Now, I'm going to cook these hot dogs. But from a safe distance. Home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play.
Out here, when it gets dark, we're going to get a real good view of the stars because we are far enough away from the larger cities that we don't get a whole lot of light pollution here. So we're going to get a great view of the stars. Campfire is all set and ready.
This hot dog is delicious. We're just gonna be chilling and relaxing tonight.
When you're chopping wood with an axe, or a hatchet in this case, you want to do kind of a V on the log so that you can snap it easy. So you want to put your foot down on it so it's sturdy. Cut from the right, from the left, from the right, from the left. Watch your eyes because flakes do fly. And the cool thing is you don't have to cut all the way through. Once you get enough, you can snap it. Looks like I need to do a little bit more. strong piece of wood. It's a very strong piece of wood. There you go. So there's a few things that you want to keep this can of off deep woods away from. Number one, the fire. You want to make sure it doesn't go in because it might explode. But number two is plastic products. Because the main ingredient in here that keeps the mosquitoes away, that does such a good job at keeping away mosquitoes and ticks and stuff like that, DEET, it melts through a lot of types of plastics. So you want to keep it away from that. You want to put it on your skin. You don't want to put it on your clothing or on your equipment. If you want to put stuff to repel bugs away from your clothing or from your camping equipment, you want to use something called permethrin, which is something you spray on your clothes, you let it dry, and then you put it on. Unlike DEET, which you spray directly on your skin, and it keeps the bugs away. The more you know.
Now, I'm gonna make a s'more. You want some more? What? Some more what? No, a s'more.
Killing me, Smalls.
Killing me, Smalls. Except I can't see. There we go. This is very important in s'more creation. You need your base. That is a graham cracker. And it, oop. Sometimes your base is a little crumbly. Oh, that's okay. Oh, golly. Okay. Then we need the chocolate. Very important. Chocolate. Put one here. That goes there. And then you take them and you just right out enough. And you go two at a time because you're a pro. If you're me. Come on. There we go. Time to eat them s'mores.
When roasting your marshmallows, there's a couple of things you want to keep in mind. You want to keep the opposite end of the marshmallow below the marshmallow, because if you lean it forward, as soon as they warm up, they're going to slide right off and into the fire. And it's also important to keep in mind that just because the marshmallow isn't touching the fire doesn't mean it's not getting warm, because heat rises. I can only hold my hand there for so long before I start to feel it. So, a couple of things to keep in mind when roasting your marshmallow.
We're truly in the wilderness at night now.
Now I'm gonna cook my hot dog.
Look at these night sky pictures.
Now I'm gonna make my s'more. This fire is hot. Marshmallows are already getting charred. I'm doing it just like the Sandlot. Except I might put out the flame before I put it on my graham cracker. When the mallow is flaming, come on now. Come on, it's so close. It's so close. Ooh. Ooh, there it is. Just like the Sandlot. When the mallow is flaming, I have to turn on my headlamp if that's okay. Just like this. Is that alright? You put the mallow and the chocolate. Where's the chocolate? Right here, I think. Chocolate on the mallow. Put the graham cracker over it. Slide it out. Ah, ah. Oh no, I made a mess.
You're not doing s'mores right if you're not making a mess.
Yeah. Don't fall out. Mmm. Now that's a s'more.
Good night, Adventurous Kids audience.
I'll see you in the morning.
Good morning, Adventurous Kids.
Good morning, Adventurous Kids. Now I'm gonna start the breakfast fire. So one thing you can do is dig through your coals from the night before and see if there's any hot ones. If there are, you can put it in a little bundle like this one. And try and get it lit that way. It's not the easiest way, but if you ever run out of matches or you don't have a lighter, it might be your only way. Not enough coal. Alright, now that we got a slightly hotter coal, we can put it in our bundle. You got flame. Oh, we lost it. This is not an easy way to do it, but Lucas, can you hand me that palm frond over there, please?
Yeah. This one?
Yes.
Like just like tear pieces off? Or like the whole
yeah,
frond?
you can tear pieces off.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
Did you know fire is not matter? It's a form of visible energy, like sunlight.
The sky is very pretty this morning. Now I'm gonna make my breakfast. Today I'm gonna have Kodiak oatmeal power cup. What I need to do is boil some water. So I'm gonna take my miniature canister stove. You might want to see this. Ready? I'm gonna use my miniature canister stove.
Oh, it's teeny tiny. I'm gonna need that for when I'm in the van.
Yes, you are. Oh, wait a minute. Got to do this part. Very important. I recommend that you put this on the floor, not on the table, because you're less likely to tip it over. And I get my collapsible kettle, which is very dirty because I usually put it directly over a fire, but it's only dirty on the outside. Anyone see where the flint stick went?
It was on the table.
Yeah, I remember it was. Oh, here it is. It fell between the things. So then, using a lighter, or in this case, since I don't have one, a flint and knife. Flame going, and in about 5 minutes this will boil. Now that the water is boiling, turn this off. We read the instructions on the oatmeal. Add water or milk until coats are oats are covered. Stir well. Okay, I guess we're just gonna wing it. Let me open this up. Pour Some boiling water in there. That looks about covered. A little more, but not too much, so it's not mushy. And then we let the oats rehydrate for a couple more minutes. Use my spoon. And a spork. Stir it up. Come back in a few minutes when it's rehydrated and delicious. One way to deflate these inflatable mattresses is to use the pump backwards. So we find our port. And if the nozzle fits, we are lucky. And, well, it doesn't always fit, so I guess we got to do it the old-fashioned way. Just to squeeze the air out of it. And fold it back. Alright, now we're going to take down the tents. Remember we put the bags in the tent so we know which one is which? Well, first we get the stakes. Put them in the stake bag. Once that's done, we can start taking down the body. Taking down the rain fly and then taking down the body. We're going to start by taking down the rain fly. We go to each of these corners. Unhook. Unvelcro. We can hang this up for a little bit, get some of that water off. All right, once we take the rain fly down, we start folding our poles, put them back into our pole bag. Start by unhooking the 4 poles. Should I say 4 corners of each pole? There are actually only 2 poles on the tent body. Once that's done, take this out over here. Take it out on the other side. And I always prefer pushing instead of pulling. Helps to have somebody on the other side sometimes. When you're alone, sometimes you have to pull, and that's okay. As long as you do it prudently, nothing should get caught up inside the tent. And then at each of the silver joints, we could call these, we fold. Fold it up. Make sure the end doesn't have any dirt in it. And back in the tent pole bag. It goes. Once you pull that down, the tent should come down on its own. Push the pole away. And again, at the silver joints, we fold. Back in the tent. Whole bag it goes. Now that the poles are taken down, we're gonna fold the tent and try our best to put it back into its original bag.
Okay.
Ready, Lucas? So you're gonna help me grab
Okay.
by the corners.
Okay.
We're gonna fold here.
Okay.
Bring it this way.
Want to shake it out a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Keep in mind, especially down here in South Florida, the bottom of your tent is going to be very wet. So it's important that when you get home, you take it out of the back box again, and you extend it. You can do it over your couch or on your balcony if you have
Balcony
one.
will probably be good for you, buddy.
And then just let it dry out so that it doesn't. Otherwise, it'll get smelly.
Yeah. We don't want that.
We don't want that at all. No.
No smelly campers. No smelly adventurous kids.
Once it's folded, I'm gonna roll it up as tight as I can. Try to get some of that air out of there. And see if we can make it fit back into this box. First. Leave it open so that we can put the mat inside, and once that's done, your tent is all packed up and ready to go home. So even though I already poured water on the fire, you want to stir it around because the ash will actually protect some of the coals, even the ones that get wet. So you want to stir it around a little bit and pour some more water in there to really make sure that you put everything out. This is a very important part of Leave No Trace. It's making sure your fire is completely out. See the heat that's trapped underneath there? You want to really, really make sure you take care of it as much as possible, which can be a messy business, but it's an important part of fire safety. You notice how it sizzles a lot less now? That is a good indication that your fire is out. So now that we've cleaned up our tents, put out our fire, gotten rid of all of our trash, and put our food away, aka we left no trace, we can go home.
Thank you for watching this camping episode of Adventurous Kids.
What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous